Hi everyone, it's Tara here with Create Life Paper Words, and I have day 3 of my France travel album from October of 2017 ready for you today. I first start with the photos and decide that I think I end up wanting to do these a little bit differently. So I do use one of the 9x12 page protectors that I have. And as I work on it, I decide that I want to do a bit more of the white and black in with the photos there. And I apologize for the glare. I printed with Costco and they are a very glossy photo, and so right above my desk is a light, and unfortunately anything that's really glossy or really shiny reflects right off of it and I get a really bad glare spot. So I do apologize. It's not going to be the first time in this set of process videos, mainly because I've been working on these at nighttime and I sort of need lights in order to work. It's just one of those things, right? So the first thing that we did on our day 3 in Paris was we went to Notre Dame and we walked there, and it was such a beautiful walk. We were right on the edge of the first arrondissement and right into the second, like literally right on that right on the street where like one side is the first and one side is the second. So it was, I'm gonna say, probably about a 15-20 minute walk, and we walked over the Pont Neuf, which is this photo right there that I put that green label on, and onto the little island, and I can't remember what the little island is called, but it was just an absolutely gorgeous day. It was actually quite warm, and yeah, it was just one of those beautiful walks where we just sort of walked and took the time, and yeah, it was just one of those great days. So I have so many photos that I always want to put in. So when I feel that I really need to put the photos in, that maybe they show a different perspective than a different one, then what I like to do is do a flip. And that's what I'm going to do on here. Just trying to decide what is going to go in my stack. So usually when I do a flip, I've got either 2 or 3 photos. And putting some little labels on. After we did Notre Dame, the weather had sort of turned cold and it started to rain, so we took the metro to, I can't remember the stop, but it was the one right close to the Eiffel Tower, and we walked around the Eiffel Tower, and it was really beautiful. Like it was fall when we were there, and so the leaves were just sort of perfect. And this photo of looking up at the tower, my husband took that, and I just really liked that it was a completely different perspective than the photos that I took of the Eiffel Tower. And so I wanted to include that. I do like to try and include as many photos that my husband takes as I can. He doesn't take nearly as many as I do. And so when he does take them, I almost feel like there's maybe a bit more thought into it, or I feel like I am taking photos to document everything, and I feel like when he takes the photos, because he really wants to remember something. So sort of 2 different perspectives, and I really like that my albums are full of those 2 different perspectives, either of life or of events. So I am just using my roller stamp, and it's an alpha roller stamp, and I love it. I end up using it throughout this whole album. It just is a really good size for Project Life. I'm sure you've heard me talk about this roller stamp before, or you've seen me use it before. This one has a lot of flip ups. I'm doing another one right here. So when I attach it using my fuse, I always like to attach on one of the pre-done pockets. I think it was with my Hawaii album where I realized that was actually the easiest way to attach them. Sometimes I will use ones that I think they're I can't remember what they're called, maybe the Simple Stories ones, and they have the adhesive on the side. If I do that, sometimes I like to still use my fuse tool instead of the stickiness, just because that there's a little tiny flap, and you can see some of the adhesive on it. So it just sort of depends the kind of mood I'm in. When I do travel albums, I tend to always have my fuse plugged in, because I know this is when I'm likely going to be making a pocket page flip up. And then on the other side, so that's sort of the day, and then this is the evening. We went for supper, and after we went for supper, it was still really nice outside. So I grabbed my scarf because it was cooling down, and then we started walking down Rue de Louvre, and we sort of made our way into the Louvre, and it was absolutely beautiful. The lights on it were just amazing. So we just sort of stood in awe and just really took in everything, and walked through and onto the bridge again, and it was just one of those really beautiful night strolls. So I wanted to document that. I didn't have a ton of photos from it, but I wanted to bring in some of those cards that are my favorite and I've been holding forever. That Big City Lover, I have been holding on to that card for I don't know how long, and I apologize, my video cut off, or I didn't record it. I'm not really sure what happened there, but yeah, so that's the back, and I wanted to keep it a lot of black and whites in there. The top card, It's So Easy to Fall in Love with This City, and the bright lights, those were from oh goodness, what's her name? In a Creative Bubble, and I just got them on her website. They're a digital, and I printed it off. So just in case you're wondering, the one Often Wander Always, that is one of the Ali Edwards 2017 passport stamps that you could get from her Pinterest thing a while ago, and all I did was move that into my Letter Glow app and printed it off on regular cardstock. And then on our way back, we stopped at this cute little pastry shop, and we picked up a couple little treats for ourselves, and I kept the little bag, and it's actually going to hold one of my little maps that I had done. So I'm just punching holes on that one, and I actually end up having to refix it because it's not quite the right, it's a little too close to the edge, so it ended up ripping actually. And yeah, here I am just working on my little map. So I'm going to do some journaling. And then on the other side, I have the map, and I am adding a little bit of a ribbon on there. I also have a couple little of our Metro passes, and I wanted to include those too. It took me a couple tries to figure out how exactly I wanted to include them. On this card, there's a little spot, a little square that you could put a little something, and I have this cute little stamp set from Kelly Perky, and there was a little like subway on it, so I just attached that, and then I'm doing my journaling, as you can see, and I believe I was journaling about our Metro adventures. I think that's what I was journaling about. And then yeah, just attach both of those down. It's a quick little insert, do some trimming, and it fits perfectly in there. So thank you so much for joining me for day 3. If you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them. You can comment on that below. Of course, you can find me on Instagram at Create Life Paper Words, and you can also find me here. If you haven't subscribed yet to my channel, I hope you will. Bye guys.